Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FTRL. Apologies for the slight delay, some technical issues in getting started, but we are now live with action from Div 1. Season 14 moves a step closer towards crowning its 14th champion in FTRL history, and we are at the circuit revered by many, the infamous Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. If any circuit can throw a spanner into the works of a title charge, it is Spa with its unpredictable weather. Now just 3 races remain in this season. We've got Spa, we've got Bahrain, and we've got a Silverstone finale to look forward to. But tonight, of course, it is just Spa. It's coming out to Aaron has unfortunately validated his lap there. Of course, star of last time out in Brazil. So Dutch Tricks took victory at Interlagos last time out after a titanic scrap with the man we had just onboarded who's died into the pits after invalidating. There's Mr. Aaron Taylor having a titanic battle. Dutch managing to fend him off and claim victory as he marches on towards another championship, and he marches on to pole position here with a 41.3. So Dutch Tricks continues to fly. Championship very much his to lose from this point. Michael, get out of the chat. If you're gonna be a douche, you'll get banned. Alright? I am in charge tonight. I am the captain. So, long season coming towards its final chapter. Is going to strike lucky at the longest circuit on the calendar, Spa-Francorchamps. So it winds up the hill through the mountain regions. Of course here tomorrow. Let's have a quick review then of the championship standings as they are. Man on pole position, Dutch Tricks leads the way on 156 points after his P3 last time out. Aaron moves up to second in the championship on 141. Also 3-point lead over Tico, sorry, so Tico is third on 138, with Scuba just a point behind him on 137, and Wesker just slowly creeping up on them on 129. He lies 5th. And we've got the ever consistent Graham in the Racing Point, 124 points for him. And we've got Sway in the Mercedes on 117. City Posh currently second. Oh, as a round goes, VAR Kelvin. Sway has invalidated his lap there, trying to get out of the way of the stricken Alfa Romeo, who's gone off a poo on. So he is currently 7th in the championship. City Posh Blue is 8th onto the podium in 9th, and AJU, star of recent races, now inside the top 10 on 72 points then. So 60 points still up for grabs. It can all change between now and the end of the season, so everything still to play for. First flying laps on the way, so this way has been validated. We'll pick up Cliffy then. Cliffy is, well, when I was looking earlier, was the fastest person on my friends list in terms of time trial times. He is on the medium tyre, however, so he's going for an alternate strategy. He goes 7th on a 42.0, so only 7/10 off a pole on a harder compound of tyre. That's a very quick lap. For some reason, the bottom of the screen is still telling me that City Posh is fastest on a 41.4, even the Dutch Tricks has done a 41.3. So once again, the game is glitched. So as we are into 10 minutes to go, Dutch Tricks is on pole on a 41.3. City Posh second on a 41.4. AJU, again, strong showing from him, 41.6 in third. Captain Chubbs up in P4. And Scuba 5th. Tico down in 6th. He's on that lap at the moment then. Cliffy in 7th, Panda is 8th, onto the podium 9th, and VAR Kelvin in 10th as it stands. We've got Aaron on a lap, so we'll pick up Aaron, who's in good form at the moment. 29, 8th through the first sector, then she comes through the chicane. Oh, a bit of a slide there. Down towards... Comes through No Name, now the Jackie X corner. Don't run too wide over the curves there, you can invalidate. Down towards Pouon. Use the curb on entry. Don't touch that curb on the inside. That curb will kill you. Very nice line there from the AlphaTauri man. Brings it into the chicane. Apex is nicely on the right. A little bit wide through the second part, but still carrying good speed. He is approaching the end of sector 2. 13.7. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him, so he might get a bit of a tow. Into the wall. And that was Tico. Have Tico and Aaron crashed? Because Aaron's got wing damage. What has happened there? Tico, you saw weaving. I'm assuming to warm up his tyres. And as Aaron came around behind them, the camera changed and Tico went into the wall. Aaron's got wing damage. It's a big drama. Big drama in qualifying. Well, that is not something you see. Well. Not quite sure what's happened there. Well, hopefully we'll get a bit of a update on what just occurred. And Graham dives into the pits. He is buried out of his lap. Adamako still to set a lap time. He's on a flying lap at the moment. He comes into Pouon. Yeah, so I'm not sure if he lost it. He looked like he'd gone beyond that point though, because Aaron's car had come through that corner. So just coming to that site now, the camera changed about here. And Tico was weaving his tyres, and then when we got this view, Tico suddenly exited stage right and into the wall. So not quite sure what happened there, but the end result is Tico is out of qualifying. He has set one lap time, but he's only 7th at the moment. You would have expected him to be challenging the front couple of rows. What does Adamako do? His first line up puts him up to P8, so Tico stays 7th for the time being, but big drama in qualifying for Div 1. We've got our current pole sitter and championship leader coming around to complete a lap. Is he going to improve? City Posh, however, has improved. So despite this, the graphic at the bottom is lying to me, because it's still saying he's done a 41.4. He's now done a 41.2. City Posh now on pole position. Dutch Tricks has backed out, so he is not improving this time. I'm on board with AGU. Whoa, it's a big kick of oversteer as he turned into Pouon. Stavolo. Yes, I think you are right, Michael. I think that was Stavolo. So, insider information suggests that there may have been contact, which resulted in Tico's demise. So, and Aaron has picked up a 5-place grid penalty for that accident. So yeah, there was definitely contact in that. AJ has bailed out his lap. Aaron is going to be fuming about that as well. People not using their mirrors. And that has now hindered 2 of the drivers who would be in contention for the win here. Who have we got on a lap? Cliffy. Cliffy now on the soft tyre, so having set a lap on the mediums, he's now out for a soft run. Yes, the Scouse jinx strikes again. Blame Michael, Aaron. Blame Michael. So yes, you come to the final 5 minutes of the session. Oh, Cliffy there locks up. It's a little bit wide. Oh, again there through Jackie Hick's corner. Has a big wobble on the curbs. The curbs here are very treacherous. He rounds Pouon. Is he going to continue with this lap, or is he going to dive into the pits and go a fresh set of rubber on and go again? Ideally want to go on board with a whole lap with somebody, so we'll watch the end of Cliffy's lap. Oh! Lost it on the curb. Keeps it out of the wall though. So that is the end of his lap. So let's pick up somebody on an out lap. Where is Wesker? Wesker is coming into the final part of the lap. Dutch Tricks is at Puon. We've got Graham, who's on the Kemmel Straight, and Dan Morris, who's just behind him. So we'll go on board with Wesker. So I'll turn the pressure up on him. We'll do a lap on board with the Williams man, who currently sits P5 in the championship, which is the bus stop chicane, and prepares to start his flying lap. Currently P6, 41.7. So half a second to find if he wants to jump to pole position. So short start finish straight, blast down to the infamous La Source hairpin, apexes nicely, goes out to the outside, power down, comes past the GT pit lane, plunging down the hill towards one of the most famous corners in the world, Eau Rouge. Flicks there, now up the hill, up through Radion. Careful you do not cut too much of the curb on the inside, onto the Kemmel Straight. Of course, infamous for that double overtake on Riccardo's onto between Hakkinen and Schumacher. Sure, Hakkinen swoop into the lead. Brakes nice and late. Flicks himself through the chicane, keeping the speed up nicely, riding those curves well. Apexes then drifts a little bit wide. You have to keep the speed up and into this Jackie X corner. Careful not to invalidate on the exit. Nice line there. So he keeps out the way now down towards Puon. Curve on the outside, do not touch the curve on the inside. Keep wide, nice line, good lap so far from Wesker. Apexes nicely the first part of the chicane, or the S's rather. Into these two right-handers before the back straight. Let's see what he's doing. He's 0.2 of a second up, so this will leapfrog him possibly onto the second row. As it stands, what can he find in the final sector then? Through the sweeping left and right, through Blanchimont. Keeps it flat. And down to the chicane. Pick your braking point. Brake hard and late. Plenty of curb. Settle the car. Plenty of curb again. And now sprint for the line. And Wesker goes only 5th. So he lost some time in that final sector then, only up by half a tenth. But it is enough to move him ahead of Captain Chubbs, so he's now P5. As Dutch Tricks just reclaims pole position by 0.03 of a second from City Posh. What has City Posh got in response? I'll go on board with some of the guys who's coming around. So Sway and Aaron on laps. Graham and Dan Morris are coming around to finish. I'll stay on board with Graham. See how he fares. Yeah, the set of lap time. Into the bus stop. And Graham goes to P13. Dan Morris behind him. Goes up to P8, so excellent lap there from Dan. And we'll go on board with Sway as he rounds Puon. A lot of cars on track. Bit of traffic to negotiate then, so coming into the end of the second sector now. So we're looking at 13.4. Now through this sweeping section, it's just foot to the floor. Unfortunately, Max, I haven't got an Elgato. I can't do Cuban Pete. Sorry, you have to wait till tomorrow. Into the braking zone for the bus stop. Runs it nicely, and now this short sprint to the line. Sway goes P5, so excellent lap from him. Behind him, Aaron goes fastest of all with a 41.211. City Posh has bailed out of his lap, so he's not going to get a lap, and Scuba's gone up to 4th, so Aaron's on pole. But having picked up that penalty for that collision with Tico, might not get the start there. Who have we got left on laps? Got Panda coming down in P12. Can he improve on this lap? Into the bus stop he comes. Drives for the line, and Panda goes to P8. So TK now on the cusp. Tico down in P10. You've got Cliffy coming around the final chicane now. Currently down in 13th. Can he get inside the top 10? No, he can't. So he does. He improves his time, but does not improve his place. 42 flat, only good enough for 13th. Adamako moves up a spot into 11th ahead of Dan Morris. So the podium has gone wide, so I think his lap is done. And that, I think, is that. So, Aaron, fastest lap of all. After a collision with Tico in qualifying, might not be starting at the head of the grid. So he's been in excellent form recently. We saw him last time duking it out with Dutch Tricks at Interlagos. And at best then he could be starting down in P6, so we shall have to see. AGU crosses the line, and that is the end of qualifying then. So Aaron is fastest, but he has picked up that 5-place penalty for that collision with Tico. Dutch Tricks second fastest, just 35 thousandths off, with City Posh in the second, AlphaTauri in third, and he's 63 thousandths, less than a tenth cover the top 3 around Spa. That is incredible in terms of how close the drivers are. Scuba under the radar a little bit there. He's popped up in P4, alongside AJU in 5th and Sway in 6th. Wesker in P7, alongside FTRL Panda with Captain Chubbs and Tico round out the top 10. And those who will have the free tyre choice will be Adamako in 11th, Dan Morris 12th, Cliffy 13th, VER Kelvin onto the podium, and Graham rounds off the grid this evening. 16 runners. So qualifying done. Let's get some podium predictions in. Who do we fancy? So it looks like we've got a dry race, so the weather has been kind to the drivers. Of course, that could all change. Spa, well known for changeable conditions mid-race. It can be wet at one end of the circuit and dry at the other. But it does look like we are going to have a dry race. So in terms of podium predictions then, I think Dutch going off pole is going to be hard to beat. I expect City Posh to run him close. And he'll be second, I think. And I think Scuba will be third. So I think the top 3 will stay as they are. But anything can happen. Bread is your daddy. Come there with Dutch, City Posh and Aaron. So he thinks Aaron's going to come through. Very likely. Aaron clearly got the pace around here. Set the fastest lap time. If you can't hear any noise, by the way, my neighbours have decided to stop playing music loud at all hours of the evening, so I've got god-awful bass music coming through the walls. Just Mikey reckons City Posh, Aaron and Panda. Big call. Do you think something will befoul Dutch Tricks, Mikey? Casey Bernard reckons City Posh, Aaron and a Tico recovery for a podium. So, well, I say Spa is a tricky circuit. The curbs here are very dangerous, so one wrong move and you can be facing the wrong way or in a wall. So the grid then for the Belgian Grand Prix is as follows. Dutch Tricks is on pole position, elevated because of the penalty picked up by Aaron. City Posh will replace his teammate on the front row, lining up alongside Dutch Tricks. Scuba is P3 alongside the man on good form recently, AJU in the Ferrari. It's the pit stop strategy thing pops up there. One stopper, soft to hard, soft to medium, both options here. Sway lines up in P5 in the Mercedes. Good run form from him, with Aaron after that penalty starting P6. What could have been though, another pole position. Outstanding lap from him. And so unlucky he's been demoted because of a collision that really shouldn't have happened. Wesker is P7 in the Williams. Both Williams in the top 7, with Panda in P8. 3 places behind his teammate Captain Chubbs in P9. Of course, stepped up from Division 2. And Tico rounding off the top 10 after that accident. Hopefully we'll have a clean race. Could have been for Tico this season, but still some pride to be clawed back, and of course 60 points available, so it is not over by any means. This circuit can catch you out. What can Tico do from P10? Adamako is the first one with a free tyre choice, and he has gone for the mediums, as have everybody outside the top 10. So Adamako in 11th on the mediums, as is Dan Morris in the Renault, Cliffy in the Red Bull on the mediums, as is VER Kelvin in the Alfa Romeo onto the podium in the Ferrari, also on the mediums, and Graham at the back also starting on the mediums. So there is your grid, there is your pole sitter. Who's going to get down to La Source first? Dutchrix has got the inside. It's not the best camera angle, I'm not going to lie. That's one we're going to have to live with. We'll go on board. We've got 5 red lights, and away we go. It's a good start by Dutch. Looks like Scuba's got a good start as well. He's up the inside of City Posh into turn 1. As they race down then to Eau Rouge for the first time, side by side in the pack. Scuba right on the back of Dutch Tricks as they come through Eau Rouge. Is everybody going to make it through okay? The survey says yes they do, and down the Kemmel straight they go. Dutch Tricks, Scuba in a slipstream. City Posh looking to come back at Scuba. AJ, you are on the outside, side by side as they're braking zone, but it's all as you were. Wesker's had a very good start. He's up to 5th, side by side with Aaron. I think a little bit of bumping there, but they're okay. Wesker up 2. Sway's had a poor start. He's down. That's Aaron now around the outside. He'll then have the inside for the jacket. It's got all contact as Wesker gives him a shove. Did they get away with it? I think they did, but now Sway's all over the back of Aaron, and Captain Chubbs is there as well, as they round Pooh on for the first time. And Tico up 1 as well. Bad start from Panda again. It's just his customary bad start. He's already down 3, and Adamako's up the inside to make it 4. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. Oh, the McLaren sideways ahead of us. Cliffy gets ahead now as well. AJU's out. In all that, so the Ferrari's gone, so it's sad to see that, but he's had some great results recently, but it looks like he's crashed coming out of that chicane where we just saw Adamako have a massive slide. Come on to complete the first lap then. Dutch Tricks is your race leader from pole position. Scuba though right on his rear wing in the Williams. City Posh there as well. A little bit of a gap. And then as the order flicks around a little bit, Wesker's now up to 3rd. No, sorry, he's 4th because City Posh is ahead of him. Don't quite know why it is having him down P9. He's definitely not there. Here we go then, a battle for the lead. Scuba into the slipstream. Dutch defends the inside. But with the slipstream, no DRS yet, but Scuba's going to go all the way around the outside and into the lead of the race. So a change for the lead. Scuba is now at the point. Oh, Dutch Tricks tries to come back up the inside of him though. But your top 3 are breaking away from the pack. City Posh is now here, and he's right on the tail of Dutch Tricks. Down towards Pooh for the second time. Let's go up to 4th. I think that moment for AJU definitely held some cars up. He's now up to 4th. Aaron up to 5th. Captain Chubbs had a great first lap and a half. He is now P6 from 9th on the grid. Tico's through up to 7th. Sway down 3 though from 5th. He's now P8. And you've got Dan Morris into the top 10, as is Cliffy. They're both up 3. Adamako back where he started. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. Or is it City Posh? Oh, City Posh is facing the wrong way. Oh, City Posh. Got some wing damage as well. Right's his car. Sway's had an off somewhere as well in all that. He's now down to 14th. City Posh trying to get going again. Oh dear, it's all gone wrong. He was up in P3. And that leaves now just 2 currently battling for the lead, as the DRS is activated for the first time. Scuba has got a 7/10 of a second lead, so Dutch Tricks will pick up the DRS. Wing pops open, he starts to close. Wesker now onto the podium on the 3rd lap. Aaron up to 4th. There's a gap of 2.5 seconds between Wesker and Dutch at the moment. Can he claw that gap back? Dutch right on the tail of Scuba. So, yeah, I think everybody who made a podium prediction so far has all gone wrong because they all had City Posh in that. So, sorry City Posh, we've all jinxed you. Oh, who's going down? It's Dan Morris. He's got off at Poo-on. Oh, he's possibly hit the curb. He's still got his wing intact though, so he shouldn't need to pit, but he's now down to P13. And you've got Sway and City Posh, who have pitted for fresh wings, fresh tyres. City Posh now onto the hards, as is Sway, so they could be going to the end of the race. Back with the leaders though, and they are nose to tail as they come through the bus stop to complete lap 3. Scuba leads, Dutch is second, of course. This is his second DRS straight here, just a short one though. Dutch coming onto the back, oh, almost into the back of the Williams there. Cost him a little bit of time. Oh, this just letting Wesker inch a little bit closer. He's taken about 3/10 out of these 2 ahead of him so far. And he's also putting time into Aaron. So we head onto the Kemmel straight. Dutch is close. He'll have the DRS. This should be a fairly easy overtake. Scuba's not going to fight it. And Dutch Tricks retakes the lead further back. Aaron's got mugged by both Tico and Captain Chubbs and Tico. Oh, there's wheel banging into the chicane. They're still side by side. And Tico takes 2 places. Tico trying to recover after that incident in qualifying. Locks a tyre. He's run a little bit wide. Chubbs down the inside, but Tico will run around the outside and maintain his newly acquired P4. A terrific little scrap going on here behind them. Panda now up to P7. He's got Adamako who's making some ground now, so he's the first of the medium runners. Cliffy in 9th, VR Kelvin going well in P10. Graham behind him in the second racing point. And onto the podium. So all the medium runners in a line. And they're all still fairly close together, so pace is good between them. Dan Morris recovering after his spin. He's 10 seconds down. Cliffy picks up a penalty. And you've got Sway and City Posh, who of course had that off. So lap 4 in the books. Dutch Tricks leads. Scuba second. Half a second between them. That DRS just brings Scuba back into play. They'll be hoping to hang on to that then as they head up towards Eau Rouge. He's nice and close. Wesker still holding at about 2.2 seconds back in P3. Oh, Eau Rouge through, ready, on they go. It's 4/10 and closing. This should be a fairly easy overtake. We saw it last time. DRS pops open. Dutch goes to the inside to defend. Scuba tries to go around the long way. Dutch is going to make him work for it. And he manages to hold him off. So excellent defensive driving there from Dutch Tricks. Meanwhile, further back, Adamako dispatches Panda. He is now up into P7. Scuba still right on the back of Dutch, these two. Saw them battling hard with Tico for the win at Austria in round 1. A little bit of wing damage picked up by Dutch Tricks, dropped him out of that. And Wesker behind them has got that gap now under 2 seconds, so he is continuing to just chip away. Will he be able to get on terms with the 2 ahead of him? He's got 7/10 of a second to find to get into DRS range, so he's coming. We'll keep an eye on him. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, VR Kelvin has gone. Having a strong run. And he too has crashed coming out of this at a virtual safety car. There he is, the same place where Giovinazzi had his accident earlier this season. I can hear Kimi Räikkönen in my head as the two race leaders pit. Wesker's carried on, so who's coming in, who's staying out? So Wesker carries on, Chubbs has carried on, Dutch Tricks is in, Scuba is in, Tico is in, Aaron's in, Panda's in, Cliffy is in, interestingly, on the mediums. And we are racing again. Oh, Wesker clips the grass there onto the back of the Kemmel straight. So drivers seem to be struggling a little bit with that chicane in the middle of the lap, which is a bit of a weird one. No accidents at Eau Rouge or Radion so far. We've seen a spin at Pouhon but no retirements, but it's that chicane after Pouhon. It's claimed both AJU and VAR Kelvin. I think Sway may have had his moment there as well. But now Wesker is your race leader. Chubbs is second, and then we've got Adamako onto the podium on the mediums. Dutch Tricks has just come out in P5. He's on the attack of onto the podium. Oh, and onto the podium, drops it under pressure. I'm sure, won't name any names, but I'm sure Pagani will be very happy about what we've just witnessed. Interestingly, Aaron has gone onto the hard tyre in P7, so does he not think that those mediums could get to the end? Scuba and Dutch together again. Let's have a look at the interval to the leader. So the gap is just 11 seconds between Dutch and Wesker as Captain Chubbs pits a lap later, so he's missed out on that potentially free pit stop. Wesker has carried on though, so only he remains on the soft tyre out of everybody who started on them. Come up through Radion onto the Kemmel straight again. Scuba will have the DRS, but I don't think he's going to be close enough this time. It's closing, but not close enough into chicane at the end of the straight. So Dutch will maintain his P3. And Tico now in a lonely P5. Aaron in P6. He's got ahead of Chubbs. So Captain Chubbs has come out roughly where he was before. He's just behind Aaron now though, so the undercut has worked nicely for Aaron. Dan Morris recovering after that spin. He is now P8. Panda, who's gone onto the hard tyre. So everybody who stopped there looks to have gone onto the hards apart from Scuba, Dutch and Tico. So you've got Panda, Cliffy, Graham, Sway, C Posh and Aaron, who all pitted for the hard tyre. Scuba and Dutch are nose to tail. So they start sweep up towards Blanchimont. Does Scuba fancy a move into the bus stop? He's close. Dutch has had to go defensive. Moves over, just gives a bit of a squeeze to Scuba. Goes a little bit deep, locks a tyre. It's all okay. Wesker now pits. What tyre does the Williams man go on to? He's going on to the mediums, so he's gone to the mediums as well. All this now leaves Adamako as your race leader in the McLaren. Wesker, you can see, has lost out. He's come out in P5, so he's lost a position to Tico, but he has maintained his position ahead of Aaron. That is Scuba close enough this time? I don't think so. Another one man who might be close enough is Captain Chubbs, who drafts around the outside of Aaron with the DRS. Not quite close enough to Wesker to pick up the DRS to defend with, and Captain Chubbs is up into P6 and back ahead of Aaron. battle going on for P12 as well by the look of it. Graham and Sway. Sway, of course, who pitted after that opening early damage. Graham, who has just pitted after that virtual safety car. Continue to battle. The big battle is on though for P2, which will be the net race lead. And Captain Chubbs is also now closing on Wesker. Scuba again closes as they approach the bus stop. Dutch doesn't defend this time, but Scuba thinks better of sending it a little bit further back. Taylor Williams on the defensive. Captain Chubbs looking very racy at this point in time. Chubbs there with the fastest lap of the race, so Captain Chubbs is flying at the moment. Currently P6. Go back then to this battle. Scuba is close this time as they head up Eau Rouge through Radion onto the Kemmel Straight. The DRS will pop open. Dutch is going defensive, using his ERS as best he can to defend. He hangs on to the position for now, and on lap 9 of 22. Meanwhile, Captain Chubbs has got the move done on Wesker, so no dramas there. Dutch Drake's doing an excellent job of fending off Scuba so far. We saw this last week as he defended really well from Aaron. Aaron only really got 1 or 2 chances to have a look and making a move on Dutch. And Scuba, despite that long straight with the DRS, not able to get through. So Dutch doing an excellent job for defending. But all this is letting the Racing Point home in behind them. Tico is now just over a second behind in P4. He's very much, will shortly at least, be in this battle for the race lead. Again, Scuba so close to Blanchimont. Dutch have to go defensive this time. Dutch later on the brakes. Scuba trying to get a cut back to get a good run down the start finish. He'll have the DRS, and Tico is now there. He's had an excellent run through the final couple of corners, and he is now within DRS range of Scuba. So Scuba is now going to start looking in his mirrors. So Tico going faster than both the guys ahead of him. Go up Eau Rouge a little, both of them a little bit wide there. And up the uphill part. Here we go again. Scuba is closer this time. Again, Dutch burning the overtake. Scuba trying to go around the outside. He's got the inside for this part, but then Dutch will have the inside for the right-hander. Can Scuba cut back? Dutch has had to go defensive. A little bit of movement there. And Tico is now right on these two. So Dutch is backing Scuba up. But would he rather have Scuba attacking him, or would he rather have Tico attacking him? And of course, these two separated by just a point in the standings. Tico and Scuba, that is. And Chubbs and Wesker still running fairly close together. Captain Chubbs having got up to P5. Wesker still very much with him. Aaron's fallen away on those hard tyres, but will that come back to him later in the race as the grip falls away? And then you've got Dan Morris up in P8. Second Renault. A good one after that spin at Pouon. He has still to pit there. He's on the mediums that he started with. Then you've got Panda and Cliffy, both on the hards. Cliffy closing on the back of the Red Bull man onto the podium after that spin. Still on his mediums that he started with. Running in P11, and then Sway and Graham continue to squabble over P12. Sway though keeping Graham at arm's length, and then the recovering City Posh had that incident earlier on, picked up wing damage. It is now just a case of what can he recover. Currently running in P14. Adamako continues to lead. 10 laps on his mediums. Gap is 5.5 seconds. Scuba again on the attack of Dutch Tricks, but not able to find a way through. Dutch doing a sterling job of defending. Down the Kemmel Straight. Tico right there, but as of yet not launched an attack. Now the question is, let's look at that gap back between Tico and Chubbs. It's now under 2 seconds, although Chubbs has just picked up a penalty. So Scuba looks like he's got the pace to go past Dutch here, but Dutch is doing an excellent job of defending. The only real overtaking opportunity is down the Kemmel Straight, and Dutch is defending well, using his ERS. Scuba yet to be able to find a way through. Cliffy meanwhile has taken Panda 4P9. He'll come again now through Blanchimont. Don't think Scuba is close enough this time, so Dutch probably won't go defensive. Again, locks that front right though, a little bit deep into the Tico, I think, at just a little bit of a moment coming into the bus stop. But Scuba again right on the tail of Dutch Tricks as they round the source for the 12th time. And down the hill they come towards Eau Rouge. Gap still 5 seconds to the leader. Taking a little bit of time out of him now. Here we go again. It's time for the DRS battle. Dutch on the ERS. Scuba into the slipstream. DRS is open. Around the outside again. Is he further ahead this time? He is. Can he squeeze Dutch a little bit more? He tries, but Dutch again hangs on around the outside. That gives him the inside for the next corner, and he hangs on to P2 once again. Tico at the moment just happy to watch these two. He's got more ERS, the other two on about 50, a little bit more though, so not massive amounts, but Tico just binding his time. Captain Chubbs meanwhile has got that gap down to 1.6 seconds. Oh, and as I say that, he spins at Pouon. Curse of the commentator, I do apologise Chubbs. We'll blame Michael C, that was definitely his fault, he's probably just commented in the stream. So Captain Chubbs spins, he's got some wing damage as well, he must have just clipped the curb. And unfortunately his terrific drive has come to nothing for the time being. Oh, a Scuba trying to go around the outside of Dutch at Blanchimont. That is a fantastic move. Scuba surprises Dutch Tricks. I guess it done before Blanchimont. What a move that was. And he's up into P2. Adamako continues to lead. So far, no pits. Dan Morris pits, so the medium runner's now Tico. Dutch is a little bit wide through La Source. He's trying to give himself a better run down the hill, but that is going to leave him vulnerable to Tico, who is now right on the back of his fellow countrymen. And after his recent run of, I don't want to say poor results, but results that he would not feel befitting of him. Oh, we're going to go 3 wide. Oh, Tico's down the inside of Scuba. Scuba goes back to Dutch, back up into P2. Tico takes third, and Scuba goes from second to fourth in the blink of an eye. It was Schumacher's onto and Hakkinen all over again. So Dutch Tricks retakes second position. Tico seizes his opportunity with a bold move down the inside. Scuba backed out of it. Very wise manoeuvre. That could have been very... Oh, Dutch Tricks with a penalty. Not a man who racks up many penalties, but that is going to put him on the back foot. He is now going to have to get his foot down and try and drop these two. Now ahead of them, Adamako is coming back to them quite quickly. I think his mediums are past their best, so expect to see him in this time. Dan Morris is on the softs, that's Captain Chubbs, so I expect to see Adamako pits. And I expect he will be out on the softs. Dutch, oh, a bit sideways through the bus stop. Dutch is looking a little bit ragged here. So Dutch reassumes the race lead. Tico now second, and Scuba is third. Wesker behind them. Gap back to P4, 2.4 seconds. So we saw him closing down on them in the first stint. He's on 2 lap fresher tyres. What has he got for your top 3? First question is, what has Tico got for Dutch? Here we go. DRS is open, and that is a very easy overtake. He got close to him, coming out of Radion, and just blast past in a straight line. So Tico assumes the race lead from 10th on the grid. He now leads. Adamako has returned in P8. He is 4 seconds behind Panda. So what can he do? Panda on 7-lap-old hard tyres. He's on fresh softs. Dan Morris is 10th. 2.3 seconds behind onto the podium, who is yet to stop. Captain Chubbs pitted. He is now 13th. Also though on the softs. I think Scuba may have just had a bit of a wobble somewhere, because he has dropped out of DRS range of the two Flying Dutchmen. Can he get back on terms? Now needs to be worried about his teammate behind him. Wesker continues to close. To the bus stop then to complete lap 14. Tico is your race leader. Dutch is second, Scuba is third. He's back within DRS range. So a good run through the final couple of corners. Needs to keep that momentum up though down the hill here. And hopefully the DRS should pull him back into this battle. Dan Morris overtakes onto the podium, into the bus stop. Further back then we're going to see if Dutch can respond to Tico. Tico not on the overtake, he's not going to fight this. So Dutch will just cruise past and back into the lead of the race. Tico tucks in behind him. Scuba within half a second. So DRS is pulling him back through as Captain Chubbs takes the fastest lap of 44.2. Using those fresh softs. Once again then we've got just under a second covering your top three as Scuba is now back on terms with Dutch and Tico. A bit of a wobble on the curb. Just left him a little bit of time there. He's taking that very wide line there, using the curb to tip into P1. I suppose this corner here is where we've seen most of the incidents. 2 retirements at this point on the track. AJU and VR Kelvin dropped it. Chubbs has picked up a penalty there, so he's pushing. This is the closest battle on track. We'll drop back and have a look through the field. Here is Wesker. He's 2.2 seconds behind Scuba. So Scuba has opened that gap up again a little bit. Aaron, a lonely P5. 2.5 behind Wesker. 2.5 in front of Cliffy. He's making good progress up from his lowly starting position. I expected Cliffy to be well inside the top 10. Finds himself in P6 in the race. Panda behind him, keeping pace. So Cliffy caught and passed him, but Panda not going away. And behind him, a very quick McLaren on soft tyres. He is at P8, Dan Morris P9, also on the softs. Onto the podium, still on those medium tyres. He's finally getting off them, so he pits. That puts Sway up into P10. Graham coming round, he will take P11. The flying Captain Chubbs coming round the final corner now. He will go up to P12. City Posh coming round the final corner. Should overhaul the Ferrari man as well. They're going to come out of the source together by the look of it. So we get on board with one of these brilliant helicopter shots as they round Jackie Higgs corner. Dutch now just opening that gap up. Now it's half a second, but of course he has a 3-second penalty. I haven't seen either of the guys behind him rack one up yet. As I say that, Tico racks up a penalty because the commentator strikes again. I'm sorry, Tico. So, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to have to say it, aren't I? That now puts Scuba in pole position. Currently sitting a second back from Dutch, but Dutch with a 3-second penalty. So Scuba is very much in the driving seat as it stands with the penalty positions. However, whenever I open my mouth to talk about penalties, that seems to change. So, oh, Tico drifting it into the first part of the bus stop. That's going to cost him a bit of time. Scuba now right on his rear wing. He's got a good drive out of the second part of the bus stop. Is he going to be close enough to have a look into the source? Not quite. But he is now right on the back of the racing point. Wesker has fallen away, so despite having fresher tyres, he's not catching these three. They're not really battling at the moment. Oh, Tico carries so much pace through Radion. He's got a storming run. Dutch is going to be vulnerable here. He's on the ERS. Tico to the outside. Can he sweep ahead? He can. There's a lock-up from Tico, but he takes the lead. So up 17 of 22, 5 to go. This is a titanic scrap between the two Dutchmen, who have long been the benchmark in FTRL, and a returning stalwart in Scuba, who is matching them blow for blow. Can he interject himself? Does he need to? He doesn't need to interject himself, though. That's the main thing here. He will jump them both on penalties as it stands, so he can just cruise around behind them. So they'll go all on that curve there, and that's the curve that's caused 2 retirements. Wesker now dropping back. He's now 4 seconds off the back of his teammate. Keeping that gap to Aaron, though. Cliffy is just chipping away. Meanwhile, and we've got a yellow. Oh, Panda's gone! In the middle of the track. Coming out of Stavolo. And Panda has crashed where we saw City Posh. We've got a virtual safety car. The car gets out of the way. So, Panda's race has ended. But again, no actual full safety car. Considering where that car was, I thought that might have been a full safety car, but no, we are just under virtual. Tico getting himself a nice little gap here. To go back racing. And away we go again then, so yeah, that's a good question, Brett. That is a good question. How was that only a VSC? I do not know. That car was in the middle of the track. Thankfully only Adamako came round before the car cleared, so no further damage. And we are racing again with just 4 laps to go. Tico now pushing on. Can he break away from Dutch? Can he break away from Scuba? Scuba's the man. Oh, just as I said that, a penalty popped up and it's onto the podium. He's racking up the pens. Tico now pushing on. Can he break away? Try and open a gap up and give him any chance of winning this race. Cliffy now also on the back of Aaron in the battle for P5. Both these guys on the hards, giving a good distance to Adamako. He was up to 7th, so he's up 4 overall, but on those softs you may have hoped to get a little bit closer to these two. So around La Source for the 19th time. Tico leads half a second ahead of Dutch, who in turn is half a second ahead of Scuba. And they're now 5 seconds ahead of Wesker, so I think Wesker is going to have to settle for P4. Barring any dramas for the guys ahead of him. Dutch now closing on Tico. I think he's too far back this time. Aaron and Cliffy in a drag race down the Cameron Straight as well, but again Aaron I think just far enough ahead. Battling over 5th at what might have been for Aaron after taking pole position. Didn't be hearing any rumbling. My cat has just arrived to start purring her head off, so I do apologise if that's been picked up on the mic. So back with the battle for the lead. Top 3. Tico continues to lead. He's also pulling away a little bit here. He's had a good run. Oh, Dutch is slowing to let Scuba through. What was that about? So, is Dutch perhaps trying to put the pressure onto Scuba to make him pick up a penalty? That's interesting. I don't quite know what's going on here. Is Dutch just thinking about picking up the points? He's only going to lose a point to Tico. He's only going to lose a point or 2 points to Scuba. He's got a big championship lead. Dutch Tricks doesn't need to win this race. I think he is now thinking about the championship. He doesn't need to battle here. He'll pick up the P3. 18 points. Smart thinking from Dutch, though he's had a good run at Scuba down the straight, down the inside. He's going to come back at him and retakes P2. So maybe he does still fancy the race win. Further back, Cliffy around the outside of Aaron. Where is Aaron? There he is. Drops in behind, so Cliffy now into the top 5. He's up 8 from where he started. Aaron back to where he started in P6. It should have been P1, of course. Dramas and Amako not really taking a lot of time out of these boys, despite being on the soft tyre. Dutch Tricks back into P2. He's outside of DRS range of Tico, though. Tico has got the hammer down. Can he pull away enough to win this race? He's got 2 and a bit laps to do it in. We're coming around to start the penultimate lap of the race. Only 2 real battles on track. They've got this one for the lead and this one for P12. City Posh on the 16 lap Old Hards. Under pressure from... Oh, Dutch has picked up another penalty. And now suddenly he's vulnerable to Wesker. So, Dutch Tricks now picks up another penalty. Again, very unlike Dutch. Come up through Radion onto the Camel Straight again for the 21st and penultimate time. Back to the race leader now 1.6 seconds. Dutch not using many of his overtake. Is he just trying to back up Scuba to let Tico escape? So Dutch now definitely looking at P3. However, if Wesker can close that gap a little bit, could yet steal a podium. City Posh and onto the podium are duking it out around the source. Come through Eau Rouge. Onto the podium, can stay close enough. We'll have the DRS, and with significantly fresher and grippier tyres. Pop to the outside. You should have the grip to make this overtake. See, Bosch sticks it down the inside, trying to hang on to the podium around the outside. He's got more grip, and he gets the overtake done. Good move there from onto the podium. And he is up into P12 on track, although we do know he has picked up a couple of penalties, so... Dutch is in the pit. Oh, Dutch has got a puncher. Drama for Dutch Tricks on the last lap of the race. He has picked up a puncher. Thankfully, it's happened right at the very end of the lap. But is... Oh, well... Of course, they pitted early for the mediums, both Tico and Scuba. I did ask the question whether they could get to the end, so question marks now around your 2 race leaders. Have they got the tyre to get them to the end? So Dutch is now out in P7. He's 5 seconds behind Adamako, so I'll do well to catch him within a lap. I need to keep an eye on our 2 race leaders. We're on the final lap. Neither of them need to push. Chubbs picks up a penalty. Tico leads the race on track. We do know he has one penalty to his name though, which means that as with Austria, he will give up that race win to the man behind him. Posh meanwhile has just launched back up the inside of onto the podium through the final down the end of the Kemmel Straight, but round Blanchimont for the final time. Steyr seem to be holding on up to the final corner, and out of the final corner he comes. Tico will take the win on track, but I fully expect the Scuba will jump in for the win, and he does. Wesker is going to come home P3. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. Oh, onto the podium's gone off at P1 on the last lap. Aaron jumps Cliffy on penalties. Adamako jumps Cliffy as well up to P5. Good result for him. Dutch Tricks comes home in P7 after all that, so drama on the last lap. Dan Morris is going to come home with a very solid P8 in spite of that spin earlier on. Sway comes home in P9 but jumps Dan Morris on penalties. Comes Graham. He'll finish in P10. Captain Chubbs behind him in P11. City Posh, what could have been for him, comes home. He jumps Captain Chubbs on penalties by just 9/10 of a second, so P11 salvaged. And some drama on the final lap for onto the podium. He's going to just crawl across the line. Well, he might have been doing a donut, but he finishes in 13th. So Tico gets driver of the day, coming from 10th to finish in P2. Took the win on track, but that one penalty he racked up cost him, and it's Scuba who picks up his third win of the season, having won in Abu Dhabi and also having won in Austria. So that puts him right back in the hunt for P2 and takes a few points out of the lead of Dutch Tricks as well, with 2 races to go. So both Williams on the podium. Wesker in P3, Tico coming through from P10 to take second, having won on track. So Everton Scuba is your race winner, with Tico second, Wesker in third, Aaron P4, with Adamako in fifth. Cliffy, who picked up a couple of penalties on the way, drops down to C6, having finished fourth on track. Then Dutch, who pitted on the final lap after picking up a puncture, finishing only in P7. Then Sway, Dan Morris and Graham round out your top 10. City Posh, Chubbs and onto the podium, rounding off the finishers. Captain Chubbs with the fastest lap of the race. Sway with a good recovery up to P8 after that drama on the opening couple of laps, as with Dan Morris after his spin. But yeah, what could have been but for those incidents. Of course, the retirements after all, Panda, AJU and VER Kelvin. 2 of them falling foul of the chicane, and Panda crashing out on the exit of Stavolo. So there we have it then. So I don't expect Scuba will come and talk to me, but I'll go grab Tico. We can have a chat to him, find out about what happened in that incident we saw. So I'm just waiting there to see if we can get Tico in for a quick chat. Our P2 finisher. So no safety cars. A couple of big accidents though. It's surprising the safety car didn't make an appearance in that race. But everybody got through Eau Rouge okay tonight. I'm not expecting the same tomorrow. It is Div 2. I fully expect to be at least 2 or 3 cars in the wall at the top of Radion.
Hey.
But then we shall see. Tico has joined us. Good evening, mate.
Good evening.
You've had a very interesting evening, haven't you?
Yeah, first of all, I'm very sorry for Aaron. I wasn't looking at the mini-map and I was weaving to get my tires here for the lap, and yeah, he hit my back and he got front wing damage, and that cost me my wheel. So
yes, a bit of so thankfully stayed in the top 10 at least. Yeah, you had a very strong race thereafter though. So I'm starting P10, come home to win on track, but and obviously that one penalty you picked up cost you the win. Still happy with the P2?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the P2, but yeah, the penalties always screw me over. Always.
Well, it was only the one at least. Obviously, we saw Dutch there run out of tyre on the penultimate lap. What were your tyres like on that last lap? Were you critical as well, or?
Yeah, critical, but they were 75% and Dutch's were 82 or something, so a bit better on my tyres on this game than Robin.
And then he is. Well, you've chipped away a little bit of that lead. Still 2 races to go. Of course, we've got Bahrain, which should have been the finale, and then the rearranged Silverstone.
Yeah.
Do you think you can make some sort of comeback, or is it just trying to grab P2 and go again for next season?
I don't know if I get a penalty or something, because it was pretty stupid to hinder someone on the fast lap. So yeah, Bahrain starting out of the top 10 is, I'm not that good at that track, and Silverstone, I'm pretty good around there, so Silverstone should be good, but Bahrain, not the best track for me.
Well, anything can happen, but still a sterling draft tonight. Congratulations on a P2.
Thanks.
Right, so that ends coverage of tonight, but of course do join us tomorrow for Div 2 action from Spa. There will probably be significantly more accidents than there were tonight. And then on Thursday and Friday we're back with the GT Sport Leagues, GT2 on Thursday, the Porsche Super Cup, and then the BTCC Championship for GT1 on Friday this week, coming from the Big Willow circuit in the United States. So do join us for that. There's bound to be some great racing there with the very tricky circuit there with the minimal runoff. So if you're into the dirt at Big Willow, you're going for a very long trip towards the edge of the track. So expect some close racing again from them. But thank you for joining us tonight, and we will see you tomorrow for Div 2 action.